Welcome to Influence Her. I'm Megan Baker. Joining us for our next episode of Influence Her is Marla Presley. She's an attorney with Jackson Lewis Law Firm in Pittsburgh. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I want to dive right in and definitely tell us what your connection is to this market.
Well, I came to Pittsburgh in 2000 and for law school, and I've never left. So I'm just a year or two away from living in Pittsburgh as long as I lived in Ohio.
What are some of your best memories here so far?
I love the city. I love everything about the city. I love the people, the restaurant scene. And I'm sure if I was in another profession, I'd like the city just as much. But I can't imagine being a lawyer in a better city. We have about 8,000, give or take, lawyers in Allegheny County. And
it's a lot. It's a big field.
It's a really densely populated area with lawyers. But I have to tell you, in my experience, I would say the vast majority of them genuinely want other lawyers to succeed. And not a week goes by where I'm not calling someone in my field, outside of my field, or even sometimes an opponent to ask for help or an interpretation of something or just guidance. And I've never, knock on wood, had someone refuse to help. So it is such a great legal community here. I can't imagine practicing anywhere else.
So there's a lot of camaraderie.
A lot.
Tell us about the work you do specifically.
I'm a labor and employment lawyer at Jackson Lewis. We're a nationwide firm with a small office in Pittsburgh, and all we do is workplace law, anything that touches on or affects employers and employees.
Let's talk about your time at law school. So you didn't always start out taking that route. You were a biology major and switched. Why is that?
I learned I didn't know math.
That's like me. That's why I'm a communications major.
Used to me figuring out settlements, 75, 76. Yeah, started out a biology.
I get it.
A biology major, chemistry minor, and it wasn't a good fit. So I decided to switch to political science, and that leaves you very few choices. Politics, law. And here I am.
And here you are. That's good. I'm not going to comment on the other. How did the university that you attended shape you for your career today?
When I went to Mount Union, it was just a college. And the goal was to have 2,000 students graduate Mount Union by the year 2000. So it's a very small school. And that forced everybody to know everybody. There weren't parties at 3 or 4 different places on a weekend. Everybody communicated with everybody pretty regularly, and we didn't text or use any of that social media.
Right, we didn't have the technology.
just a few short years ago, we didn't have that. So I think that allowed me to be able to talk to anybody face to face. I'm very comfortable in groups. I get to know people pretty quickly. So I think that really shaped a big part of who I am.
If you could know that you would be where you are today as a young woman, how would you have reacted maybe?
I think if I could go back to when I was a kid and then in college and law school, I would tell myself it's all worth it. All of the hard work, the late nights studying, it all worked out in the end. It was absolutely worth it. Keep going, kid, it's worth it.
What's the best piece of advice that you have received thus far in this field?
I would say as a young lawyer, probably in my first year of practice, a lawyer told me to always be the hardest worker in the room. And that really resonated with me. I was never able to let that go. And I still, when I'm walking into a meeting or court, I always ask myself, are you going to be the hardest worker, the most prepared in that room? And I hope that I am.
What piece of advice do you have for a young woman who's looking to aspire to be an attorney, perhaps?
I would say generally to a young woman to also always be the hardest working person in the room. But I would say to someone going into law school or in law school now, the best piece of advice I would give is learn how to write. Lawyers who I work with today, I can teach them to find a case or make an argument, look in the rules to find some procedure, but it's very rare that you're going to find someone who has the time and the patience to teach you how to be a good writer. I think that's the most important class in law school. Everybody should pay attention.
Valuable piece of advice. Who was the biggest influencer in your life growing up?
Without a question, my mom. She was a great role model. I was really fortunate. I had an amazing childhood, but I think there's a theme you're going to see here. My mom also taught me that anything I wanted to do or anything I wanted to be was possible if I worked hard. Not the, Marla, you could be a princess one day. It was find out what you want and work hard to get it. And I knew without a doubt, no matter what field I chose, no matter what goal I had set, if I worked hard enough, I absolutely could do it. I was the only one who would ever hold myself back.
What is your next step? Now, I've gotten to know you personally, and I know that you also have a knack for writing.
I mean, if I'm going to be more of a cliche, the sky's the limit.
Right.
There's so much that I want to do, and I should sit down with you and make a to-do list.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that there's still so much I want to accomplish in my professional career. There's so much I want to accomplish personally, and I am going to take pen to paper one day and create something amazing or amazingly terrible. I don't know.
I'm sure it'll be amazing. How important is community to you and what you do?
The community here in Pittsburgh means everything to me. It's the same as my community back home. When I was growing up, there were great times, tough times, and we always had people helping us, and that's, I think, what helped me become who I am. So I am always looking to help build our community, give back to our community, and that's why I don't think I'm ever going to leave the city.
Well, that's great to hear. It is a really special place, and that's why we're returning
That's
and
right.
we're here. So thank you. So we're not done. We are now on to what we call Baker's Dozen.
Okay.
So it's 13 rapid fire questions, and you have to give us 1 to 2 word answers. That's it. No, I'm kidding. Or we zap you.
I thought this was going to be 3 hours. I have so much to say.
So,
Okay.
All right. So this one might be more than 1 or 2 words, but here we go.
Okay.
Favorite quote?
Unfair. I had a stint as a cheerleader, and I could make a motivational glitter sign with the best of them. I'm full of great quotes. My current favorite is be an active participant in your own rescue, and you would be surprised how many times and how many circumstances you could use that.
And it comes up throughout life. That's important.
I'll be better.
Middle name?
Nicole.
That was an easy one. Old nickname you had?
Mars Bar.
How did that come about?
There's no good nickname for Marla. Mars Bar, terrible. Help find me a nickname for the next time.
How many hours of sleep do you need a night?
5.
Oh.
4, 5.
Steelers, Penguins, or Pirates?
Absolutely Penguins.
Okay. Favorite childhood TV show?
The 1987 classic Rags to Riches.
Wow.
Nobody remembers that.
I sure don't.
Google it.
And I was alive then. Maybe. Place you most want to travel to?
I love to travel. Prague is probably at the top of my list.
Favorite city other than Pittsburgh?
Youngstown, Ohio, obviously.
Of course, right? All right, so this next question is from our previous woman that we had interviewed, and her name is Kim Siciliano from the YWCA in Albany, New York. She had a question: if your business had to be a nonprofit, what would it be, and how would you make that work?
Oh, I don't think that we do enough to help the disadvantaged community. And I know that, especially in Pittsburgh, we have great resources. We have a lot of shelters and organizations that help those who are hungry or who are homeless. But I would want to create an organization that goes beyond that, to give people the opportunity to have a better life. Everybody deserves a chance to help someone get an education, get a job. That's what I would do.
You get one final question, and this one is actually for the next interview, for the next episode of Influence Her. So what question would you ask our next guest?
It's not going to be nearly as profound as Kim's, but I would want to know best hidden gem restaurant in this city.
I like
There
that.
are a bunch.
There are a lot, and we have some favorites.
Okay.
All right, well, Marla Presley, we are out of time. I really appreciate giving us insight into who you are, what makes you tick, the profession. We greatly appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you. This is Influence Her.